As the days go by, there are always new mysterious discoveries, and many have been seriously strange and awe-inspiring. Join us as we explore 12 of the strangest things recently discovered and what explanations lie behind them. Number 12. World War II bomb. Sometimes the discovery of dangerous objects leads to risky situations. During dredging work for a river crossing in Great Yarmouth, a contractor unexpectedly stumbled upon a 250-kilogram bomb from World War II. This find immediately triggered a response, with the authorities creating a 400-meter exclusion zone and calling in the Army bomb disposal team to deal with the situation. The initial plan was to safely dismantle the bomb fuse using a remotely operated robot. However, as we know, things like this do not always go according to plan. On the third day of the operation, the bomb unexpectedly detonated during the dismantling process. Fortunately, the precautions taken helped minimize the potential damage from the explosion. Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident, and the protective barrier built around the bomb served its purpose effectively. However, it is uncertain whether the robot escaped the detonation unharmed. Moreover, this incident is not isolated. Unexploded bombs have been found in several places and have been treated with caution. In Germany, for example, unexploded bombs have been found in several places and have been treated with caution. In Germany, for example, a recent discovery included a 500-kilogram bomb. Remarkably, it is estimated that more than 400 unexploded bombs could still be hidden beneath the surface, underscoring the lasting impact of past conflicts on modern times. Number 11. Roman dodecahedra. Strange discoveries often leave us scratching our heads, especially when we find the same objects over and over again throughout history. A good example of this conundrum is the Roman dodecahedra. They are so called because they have 12 flat faces, and they all come from Roman times. Most of them were manufactured between the 2nd and 4th centuries AD, made of a copper alloy. These things appear on hordes of Roman coins, suggesting that they were highly prized objects. But since the first one was found in 1739, no one knew what they were actually used for. These peculiar objects appear in ancient Roman sites all over Northern Europe, and there are plenty of theories trying to shed light on their purpose. Some think they were used as ornaments, or perhaps even as candle holders. After all, some examples have been found with wax inside. Then there is the idea that they could have been used to measure distant things, such as counterfeit coins, based on their size, or perhaps even to tell people's fortunes. A more recent theory brings up the different sizes of the holes in these dodecahedra. They usually have holes of different sizes on each face, and sometimes have knobs or decorative elements on the vertices. In addition, they vary in size from about 4 to 11 centimeters in diameter. Some believe that these holes could have been used to weave gloves around the finger and thumb, since, interestingly, most of these things were discovered in the colder areas of Northern Europe. However, these theories are just that, theories. We can't prove any of them because we have no direct references from Roman times to back them up. So for now, these Roman dodecahedra continue to keep us guessing. Number 10. Plastic rocks. This recent discovery has scientists seriously concerned about the well-being of our planet. They stumbled upon it on a secluded island in Trinidad. The island is like a haven for rare creatures, providing a safe space for nearly extinct species, thanks to the lack of human inhabitants. However, it turns out that our human footprint doesn't stop at our doorstep. On this island, where only a few members of the Brazilian Navy reside, researchers stumbled upon a strange blue-green rock that seemed totally out of place. Upon closer inspection, they discovered that it was a new type of rock made of plastic. It was like a fusion of volcanic lava and plastic washed downstream. They christened these formations plastiglomerates, and they first appeared in 2014. It turned out that similar formations have been found in different corners of the planet. The issue of plastic rock melt is now raising red flags. It is highlighting how our pollution, such as plastic waste dumped in the ocean, can end up in places we never intended by damaging ecosystems. We all know that human population and global warming are closely linked, and the damage we are causing to nature is hard to undo. Number 9. Stoned skeletons. Berlin has its share of intriguing discoveries, and recently, a story that could come straight out of a fantasy tale emerged from the legendary city of Pompeii. If you're not familiar with Pompeii, it's the ancient Roman city that faced total devastation from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius some 2,000 years ago. In a matter of 2 days, the city and its inhabitants were engulfed by lava, leaving behind a treasure trove for archaeologists. The latest find there looks like the scene of a myth starring the gaze of Medusa. There were people turned to stone by volcanic lava, and it is as creepy as it is fascinating. Recently, the remains of two stone skeletons have been discovered. Experts believe they were an upper-class nobleman and his slave. The older one, aged between 30 and 40, still retained remnants of his coat around his neck. The younger one, between 15 and 20 years old, showed damage to his vertebrae, possibly indicating a life of hard labor, perhaps as a slave carrying loads. These remains were found in the subway chambers of a large villa. The older man survived the initial ash fallout, only to succumb to the colossal explosion the next day. His teeth and bones are amazingly well preserved, providing valuable material for analysis by archaeologists. It has been deduced that he suffered a fatal thermal shock, which seems an incredibly painful way to die. In addition to the discovery of these two bodies, archaeologists have created casts of some of the other bodies discovered. The casts have been an invaluable source of information for understanding the clothing, hairstyles, and even facial expressions of the people who lived in Pompeii. They provide a direct connection to the past and offer a sobering reminder of the human tragedy that was unleashed during the eruption of Vesuvius. Number 8. River cubes. Back in May of 2020, a man named Will Reed was busy searching for precious metals in a shallow river in Coventry, England. He was sorting through the sediments, thinking he might find something valuable, when he stumbled upon a bunch of tiny lead cubes in his hands. These cubes were so small that they could be held between thumb and forefinger, and each had intricate symbols and numbers engraved on them in a grid pattern. His room continued to grow, and eventually he found more than 60 of these lead cubes with his two sons. They also found some coins with holes punched in them. However, they didn't know what the cubes were for. Reed turned to the internet for some answers, and it turned out that the cubes are used in traditional Hindu prayer rituals. The inscriptions on the cubes are astrological, and people use them to ask for some spiritual help or guidance from some cosmic power. In some cases, devotees also write their wishes or desires on the cubes before offering them to the deity. They are then thrown into a sacred river or body of water, often a sacred river such as the Ganges. The act of throwing these buckets into the water symbolizes letting go of one's desires and surrendering them to the divine. It is believed that the wishes written on the buckets will be heard by the deity, and the water serves as a conduit to carry these prayers. But there is a twist. Since Hindus are the ones who use the buckets, they were more common in places like India. However, Reed found them in England, and since they were manufactured in the 1980s, these buckets were probably dropped there sometime in the last 40 years or thereabouts. After speculation, it's a safe bet that British Hindus continuing their ancient religious practices had something to do with it. In the absence of rivers like the Ganges, the Coventry River could have been a substitute for them, serving as a place for their traditional rituals in their new home. Number 7. 1,200-year-old marker sports. They have always been a huge success in our entertainment landscape. The thrill of rooting for teams, keeping score, and collecting memorabilia is hard to match. Interestingly, versions of soccer games run with balls and equipment have been around for centuries. Therefore, it may not be too surprising to learn that even ancient civilizations, such as the Mayans, some 1,200 years ago, played similar sports. Recently, archaeologists made an intriguing find of a round stone tablet believed to have served as a scoreboard in Mexico. The tablet depicts a scene of two men, one wearing a feathered headdress and the other a snake turban, playing a soccer-like game called pelota. The game is depicted along the circular border of the tablet, accompanied by hieroglyphs. They are believed to represent markings related to the game. This heavy tablet, weighing over 40 kilograms, was discovered nearly half a kilometer below the surface. It is a reminder that, despite our modern technology, we share a common thread with ancient societies in our love of sports and competition. This discovery could give us a glimpse into the past, helping us understand how these ancient civilizations enjoyed sports and kept scores. Who knows, it might even pave the way to rediscovering the rules of games like pelota or other ancient pastimes. Number 6. Deeper fish. Always the underwater world is a realm of mystery akin to outer space. Just as there is much to be discovered in the cosmos, the depths of our oceans hold many secrets yet to be unlocked. In an effort to delve deeper into these aquatic mysteries, a team of scientists embarked on a mission to document the deepest dwelling sea creatures. Their strategy is to send unmanned submarines armed with cameras and bait into the trenches between Japan and Australia. Descending more than 8,000 meters, These robotic vehicles plunged into a world very different from the dark, cold, and serene one we know. In addition, the water pressure at this depth is a staggering 8,000 times that of sea level. Surviving in such an environment requires unique adaptations. Most fish in this habitat share common traits such as large, dark skin, creepy teeth, and tiny eyes. Among these creatures emerged a new snailfish that had never been encountered before. This fish was named the Mariana snailfish, after the place where it was found, the Mariana Trench. It was first captured on camera in 2017 during an expedition by scientists from Newcastle University. Led by Dr. Alan Jameson, the snailfish has several adaptations that allow it to survive in these difficult conditions. One of its most notable features is its gelatinous body, which does not contain the gas-filled swim bladder that many other fish have. The discovery of the Mariana snailfish sheds light on the remarkable diversity of life in the deepest realms of the ocean, and provides insights into how organisms adapt to survive in extreme environments. Number 5. Rarely preserved fossil. In 2019, a man fishing by a stream in Buenos Aires, Argentina, stumbled upon an unusual rock on the muddy bank. As he removed the soil around it, he realized that it was much larger than he had initially thought, and had a unique cobblestone texture. Experts were brought in to excavate the object, and it turned out to be the remarkably well-preserved fossilized carapace of a glyptodon. Glyptodonts were ancient giant relatives of armadillos that featured huge bony backplates and club-like tails. These creatures became extinct about 10,000 years ago. The discovery of such a well-preserved glyptodon fossil was significant, as finding fossils in such good condition is quite rare. Interestingly, this was not the only glyptodon discovery in the area. A similar fossil find occurred in 2020, when a farmer herding cows initially stumbled upon 2 fossilized creatures, leading to the discovery of a total of 4. The discoveries added to a trend that began in 2015 near the town of Carlos Picaccini, not far from Buenos Aires. Finding such well-preserved fossils is a rarity. Although more specimens of the species have been found more frequently in this part of Argentina, each discovery continues to have something special about it. Even the first one discovered was thought to be a dinosaur egg. It just goes to show that sometimes the most fascinating discoveries can leave us scratching our heads at first. And they offer insight into the prehistoric creatures that roamed the region and highlight how even seemingly ordinary activities like fishing or herding cows can lead to discovering valuable pieces of our planet's history. Number 4. Strange spiral in the sky. A few weeks ago, back in Alaska, a group of photographers were out capturing snapshots of the aurora borealis. As they were engaged in their task, a strange baby blue spiral hanging in the sky caught their attention. The sight was so unexpected that some people even began to associate it with space portals and alien invasions or other supernatural things. These photographers managed to record a video of the whole thing and wasted no time in sharing it on social media. It went viral in no time. But then, before the sci-fi theories could take off, SpaceX scientists jumped in with an explanation. It turned out that this whole incident was related to an event that had happened 3 hours earlier in California. SpaceX had launched a powerful rocket, and during launch, some of the fuel was released as it rose into the atmosphere and cooled, which created these frozen fuel crystals that could reflect light in interesting ways, even forming swirling patterns similar to the aurora borealis. Explained the phenomenon still. Not everyone is convinced. Some think SpaceX's explanation is nothing more than a cover to hide something more mysterious, like secret experiments. In the end, the spiral disappeared without causing any damage, leaving those people to keep guessing. Number 3. Hidden camera in the Pyramid of Giza. Pyramids are, without a doubt, some of the most captivating and enigmatic structures built by man. They are known to hold secrets, traps, and treasures, making them a favorite subject of speculation. But even with the iconic Pyramid of Giza, you might think there's nothing new to discover. Well, you'd be wrong. Using advanced technology, scientists managed to uncover a previously unknown 30-foot-long hidden chamber inside the 4,500-year-old wonder. The Pyramid of Giza, as we know it, is not just any pyramid. It is the last of the original 7 wonders of the ancient world and enjoys immense worldwide recognition. Although several hidden treasures have been discovered inside it over the years, recent years have been quiet on that front until modern scanning tools such as infrared, Three-dimensional thermography simulations and cosmic ray imaging were employed to essentially perform an X-ray scan on it. Now that the 9-meter tunnel passageway has been revealed, a layer of mystery has been added to an already mysterious structure. What this tunnel might have been for, or why it was built, remains as big an enigma as the pyramids themselves. Several hypotheses have been proposed, including the idea that it could be a burial chamber, a construction void, or a corridor. However, due to the limitations of muon radiography, the exact nature of the void and its possible contents remained uncertain. This discovery sparked significant debate in the archaeological community. Some experts were wary of jumping to conclusions based solely on the muon data, stressing the need for further research. Number 2. Spaceballs. Stories about strange things falling from space are fairly common, but it's not every day that these claims turn out to be true. However, in recent years there have been some puzzling incidents in which strange objects actually fell from the sky. First, there was such an occurrence in Australia in 2008, and again in Spain in 2015. On both occasions, almost identical spherical objects descended from space and landed in farmers' fields. What is this? Although these incidents occurred 7 years apart, the objects looked quite similar. They were like these twisted metal balls with a frayed spiral design. Now, if you were thinking these were cool meteorites, think again. They didn't fit the natural space rock profile. After a good deal of investigation, it turned out they were man-made pieces of space junk. Those things found their way back to Earth after floating around in space for a while. They are believed to be parts of fuel modules that were used and then tossed aside. After the launch of a communications satellite from Florida in 1998, they were left hanging around in Earth orbit, minding their own business, until gravity decided to give them a tug back home. As cool as that sounds, also, considering the materials they were made of and the speed at which they hit the ground, it would not have been a good experience if they had hit someone. There is a reminder for all of us to keep an eye on the skies, not only in search of UFOs, but also for the sake of our own well-being. Number 1. The Dutch warship. In 2019, a team of divers found the sunken remains of an ancient ship off the coast of Sussex, formerly known as the Eastbourne Unknown Wreck. The remains include cannons, marble tiles, holes in the wood, and fragments of Italian pottery. Through analysis of wood samples, scientists determined that the ship dates to the 17th century, and security measures were put in place to protect the area from artifact theft. Although not gold coins, the artifacts are considered a type of sunken treasure. The ship holds historical intrigue and secrets from the past. After 4 years, researchers identified the ship as a 1656 Dutch warship. Based on wood dating, craftsmanship, and structural analysis, it is likely that the vessel suffered mishaps such as battles, pirate attacks, or natural disasters during its voyage from Italy to the Netherlands. The riddle of the unknown shipwreck is now solved, but much remains to be unraveled. Scientists are conducting new research to unravel her construction and sinking, with the aim of shedding light on her history. However, her discovery still provides a fascinating insight into 17th century naval history and adds to our understanding of maritime navigation during that era. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.